you by
Oh,
Facebook.
okay. Okay,
Yes,
and
so
our
it's
live
really nice.
we're live on Facebook and
Yeah,
YouTube. Hi, Merelyn, how are you?
fine. Very excited to talk to you.
Good.
So
And Marilyn's joining us from Italy. That's where she's living. And thank you so much. I know it's a little earlier for our audience. We usually do this in the afternoon, but we wanted to make chilcanos. It's Friday, so we're happy to do this right around lunchtime.
yeah, yes, yes. So let's make a chilcano.
Yeah, show me how. I have all my ingredients.
Great. So maybe not many people know what is chilcano. It's a great cocktail for summer. I'm in Italy, so it's really hot now,
Yeah.
34 degrees.
Oh my God.
So, well, what you need is a glass with ice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start doing chilcano while we are start talking about Pisco 9001. So
Yeah.
you need a glass and then put a bit of ice. I put a lot of ice there.
Yeah. Got it.
And let's use Pisco 9001. This Pisco is special for me because I use it for my wedding. So
Oh wow. Well, I
yes,
have one too. Thank you for sending this.
great. This is a Moscatel, the Moscatel grape, and this is
Yeah.
a Negra Criolla from Caravelí.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, let's make it because I don't have this thing to put. Depends
Yeah.
if you want to drink a lot of pisco or you want a little less.
I have 1 ounce of lime and then 2 of Pisco.
2, okay.
Yeah, this is the recipe we have on our website.
Yeah. Do you have lemon? It's important, lemon or
Yeah.
lemon juice. You can
Yep.
squeeze one lemon. It's a very, 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 very fresh recipe.
And then ginger ale, right?
Yes, and then ginger ale, as much as you want.
Yeah.
So it's very, very easy. Really.
So
So
easy.
then you can everyone can make it.
I don't have anything there. Okay. I'm ready.
Great.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Marilyn. Let's see.
Nice.
That's really good.
It's been a while. I didn't drink chilcano, so
I know.
it's really nice.
We've been drinking a lot of pisco sours here, but this is so refreshing. I always forget how nice it is to just have.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start talking a little bit about the brand and you. So you are from Caravelí, Arequipa. Tell us about Caravelí and how you grew up there, where the vineyard is and everything.
Yes. It's nice to talk about Caravelí because it's a small village in the south of Peru, in Arequipa, and it's located at high altitude, 1,775 meters above sea level. I think that makes a great place for Pisco and unique because it's the only place where you can find Pisco production at this altitude.
Right.
So and what also makes so great is, like, for me, it's a hidden treasure in the Andes. If you go to Caravelí, you will find that the time has stopped, and that's why if you go to Caravelí, people are still doing traditional ancient practices to make pisco like you could see 4,000 years ago. So that's amazing. So if you see, we are still using ancient jars from the colonial times. So there are a lot of things that you could find there. Even the vocabulary is very special.
Right. How far away is it from Arequipa City?
It's almost 7 hours by car. and even less maybe. And around 11 or 10 hours from Lima.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to do a tour, like I used to go and bring a lot of friends from Europe. I used to go to Ica, stop in Paracas, visit a bit of this area, and then go to the Nazca lines. And from the Nazca lines, you can stay one night. It's also very beautiful. And then the day after, I used to take a car, and you can drive also and go directly to Caravelí and arrive for lunch.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's a great tour. We should do that.
Yes. And of course, I would like to tell you that Caravelí has this huge ocean, the Pacific Ocean, that we have the purest place regarding the Pacific Oceans. You can find penguins. This is like Paracas, but pure, without tourists. It's beautiful. So we are 1 hour to the sea. If you drive from Atico, is the port, we are 1 hour to the sea. It's very beautiful.
Oh, awesome. And you were born there. This vineyard that you have, it's 5 generations, I think you said. Like, tell us a little bit about who started the vineyard.
Yeah, it's great. Cheers to my grandfather. Florencio Navarro is his name. Since Florencio Navarro created the wine press in Peru is a place where you can press the grape to make wine. So he carved it into white rock, volcanic white rock that it's called sillar in Arequipa. He carved it for almost 10 years, and everyone told him it's impossible that you could make it. So when he finished it in 1901, the name of my brand, he made it and he called it El Imposible, which means impossible. And it was a message for us that nothing is impossible. So from that moment that we have the recorded, we know that he was started producing Pisco using this ancient infrastructure. But he was also very like a passionate and visionary person, because after that he created a wine cave. It's like this wine cave that also you can find in Italy to keep the wines very cold. And so he carved 21 years after that, and he put it. After 21 years, he carved it in the rock, in this volcanic rock, this wine cave. And from that, my grandmother, Sara Navarro, she heritage the land. What is amazing is like after him, all of these owners were women. And I'm the fourth one, the 5th generation for all of them, and the 4th of women. Because then my grandmother, Lilia Montoya, and my mother, Sara Navarro, Sara Diaz, so they were producing and continue this tradition, generation by generation.
Amazing.
So that's why I think I grew up in this atmosphere. I grew up following all this tradition. I grew up seeing all this amazing infrastructure. So I got a lot of inspiration from them.
Yeah, it's in your blood. And
yes, in my blood, exactly.
You see it. So you started off the company, the family business started producing wines and Pisco at the same time?
Yes. We hold an ancient tradition over. So we've been producing wine for the colonial time, and after that we also started producing Pisco. For what I remember, for what my family were doing, we've been producing Pisco since 1901.
Oh wow, amazing.
Yes, everything was for self-consumption, and we were selling around this area, around Caravelí, Ayacucho, Arequipa. So everything was a bit closed for us at the beginning.
And how big is the vineyard that you have?
Well, we have 2 lands. One is called Huachipa, it's 10 hectares, and the other one is called Ananta, which means the infinitive. It's almost 5 hectares. And then we have another one. I don't remember the name because every half has a special name. And I think this is also 5. Well, we are working with these three lands.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your role. It's amazing that there's been so many women leading, the vineyard and the business. So what do you do for the brand?
Yes. So my role, first of all, I'm a marketing manager. I've been working as a marketing manager since 2016, but I'm a biologist. I'm a researcher. So I was trying to communicate all of these values that I'm very passionate for. As a biologist, I'm very passionate because I've been working on environmental sustainability and climate resilience. So through these 8 years, I realized that it was important to share all of this information to the people. So I've decided to do something different and to find a way to communicate all of these values.
Right.
This is my role. That's why this year we've been working, doing a lot of workshops, using all of this knowledge of research to try to do a rebranding of this brand and to put it to the next level, bring it to the next level. So also the international level. So people will know more about Peruvian Pisco and more about Caravelí, which is an amazing place where maybe the market in Peru mostly is for Nica.
Right. So tell us a little bit. I mean, we're gonna get into the brand and where it's heading in the future, but why is the biggest, and what brought my attention to your brand is because other Pisco brands don't talk about it, but about the actual making of Pisco in a sustainable way. And you guys talk a lot about sustainable viticulture. So tell us a little bit why that's so important to the brand and what does it mean?
Yes. I would like to start telling you why Caravelí is so important and why we could say that we are working on like eco-friendly way.
Yeah.
First of all, Caravelí, it's a place with a high altitude that I mentioned it many times. And because of that, you have a strong solar radiation. And this strong solar radiation helps the grape to grow very well and to keep more aromatic components.
Yeah.
And all of this pass into the Pisco. That's why the Pisco, Negra Criolla, and Moscatel from Caravelí are so special. So this is the special part for quality. And then you have also this wide thermal differential, which means that during the night it's quite cold, 15 degrees, and early in the morning it's 28 degrees. So this allows the vineyard to consume less energy and to try to keep even more and produce a great Pisco, great grapes. So because when you go through the coast, very close through the coast, the plants need more chemical inputs.
Right.
Because they are suffering so much from this whole extreme weather that in Caravelí doesn't happen. That's why when you go to that's why these two things are important, because we don't need to use a lot of chemical inputs to our vineyard.
Right.
And the third thing is like we are doing a lot of agroecological practices. My work was being through the time I've been working on traditional ecological knowledge as a strategy for climate change adaptation. So through the time, people have been doing a lot of cultural practices that keep the biodiversity inside vineyard. So when you think about sustainable viticulture, you have to think about holistic approach. A holistic approach, how to manage this vineyard. And we've been doing all of this, and we've been doing the traceability of all of this process. So that's why we think, and we are doing a great job trying to maintain agroecological vineyards through the production of Pisco Nation.
That's amazing. And the other thing that I realized is you guys think about not just the plants, but all of the flora and fauna that is around you. So tell us a little bit about, because I loved it that this is like the vineyard and all of your practices are bird friendly, and like you think about every aspect.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, indeed. You know, I'm a biologist. I'm a biologist. My brother is also is an agronomist, but he's a researcher. And I also have a young brother who is a specialist in agroecology. So how we could not think about nature. We've been born in Caravelí, and we were in Caravelí, and also we love so much this area that we want to protect that. Yeah. So first of all, we are trying to protect the forest around, especially guarango trees that are in danger, especially in the coast of Peru. So now we are planning. This is also part of the rebranding. We are trying to do more alliance with different organizations, NGOs. Like, we want to bring all of these values, but also we want to connect, to tell the consumers that they also have the responsibility to maintain nature. By buying a bottle of Pisco, they can bring money to a special fund for research, but also to for the reforestation for these special trees. This is one special thing. The other, we are focusing more on better research. We've been doing research, and one of these was how to do like a very special irrigation that can maintain a water, and you cannot avoiding wasting water.
Right.
So we've been doing this, and we want to do more. That's why I think that it's good that we can connect profit, planet, and nature.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then you also use a lot of you don't use herbicides. You do a lot of natural abono.
Yes. When you want to maintain your soils, because this is the key, to maintain the soil, to preserve soil, we have to do other practices. And we can, for example, do intercropping, which means mostly when you go to any vineyard, you will see that there is always, as you see, vineyard. But if you think about more, we are doing monocropping. And when you do monocropping, because you want to, everything has to be the same, you are killing a lot of biodiversity. And we don't want to use herbicides and pesticides. We want to prevent, or we want to do manual control instead of using herbicides and pesticides. So what we are doing, and what my family has been doing, it's like hard work, these cultural practices, because you have to pick up all of these plants that can create more danger into your vineyard. But also you have to plant some flowers, or you have to plant alfalfa. I don't know if many people know what does it mean, alfalfa, like doing intercropping in the vineyard. So this, for me, is the key. And what else I would like to tell you is, like, many of us, we are not aware how many pesticides and herbicides people use to produce any kind of crop, especially, well, if you think about wine or Pisco, that can kill a lot of birds and can kill a lot of pollinators. By doing what we are doing, we are protecting pollinators, which for us, it's very important for the future of the planet. bees, and all of these small insects, and birds, because the birds is show you the health of all the whole environment if you think like an holistic way.
Yeah, that's
Nico?
amazing. I don't think we think about that. Like for us, we want to choose the best pisco for flavor, and you don't think that you can have great flavor but also take care of the environment. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not mutually exclusive. So tell us a little
Yes.
bit about the team. Like who do you have working the vineyard? Like how does that labor look like?
Yes. Yes. Well, my, you know, that is, I admire so much my family, my mother and my grandmother. They are really amazing because my grandmother is the manager of Huachipa land, which is the bigger one. She's
Yeah.
85 years old, 86 this year. She turned 86.
Mhm.
And she's very strong because if I were she, maybe I should just try to relax and detach a
Right.
bit of the land. So she's in charge of that. And my mother is in charge of Ananda. And we have a lot of different workers in each of those lands.
Mhm.
And my brother, who is a specialist agronomist, he has to supervise all the traceability of the process. So he has to supervise every step by step. We've been working hard because from the beginning there are different stages that you have to take into account. I don't know how to say in English, but for example, poda is going to start in August, September, and you have
Oh,
to be a master when you want to cut every, I don't know, to explain very well, poda.
yeah. I'm gonna look for the word.
Yes, yes, and so my brother has to do that, and then
To trim. So when you want to trim the
frame.
actual, yeah.
Yes, yes. So those, they are in charge of the land, and then we have other family members that are in charge of the distribution, the transport, and I'm in charge of doing all of this research to understand. For example, now I was trying to understand how to communicate those values because we, in 2016, my brother and me, I was very young, younger than how I am, and we realized that if we want to, our purpose of life is to keep or to maintain the tradition and the agroecological vineyards. How are we going to do that? So we were struggling because it's not easy to just, hey, let's do something, like let's make a business. It's not easy. You have to jump into this step.
Yeah.
So we decided, okay, let's make a business. Let's help our family. They were investing a lot on us and our education. We are very grateful with them. They've been working so hard. So we decided to do that in 2016. And we started in Ecomarket San Isidro, in the Ecomarket San Isidro. So very, very cool place to start.
Yeah.
And we realized that many people really like it, but it was something that we were missing something. We were missing maybe how to transmit more all of these values.
Yeah.
So after that, and after a lot of difficulties and challenges, I also have to move to Europe because I got the opportunity to work at FAO, UN organization. And
Mhm.
of course, I also did a master on sustainable tourism. So I decided, okay, let's take this opportunity for my professional development, but I will go back to you. So with more power, maybe with more ideas
Right.
in my brain. And I decided to, so this last year, October last year, I decided to launch, to start to do this rebranding. And this is my role. My role is to connect with markets, to transmit all of these values, all of this passion. And hi, this like the Scorcha Peru. Yes, yes. This is our main goal and our main passion. Also because I work for sustainability or environmental sustainability, and I think this is like a practical thing that I can do now.
Right.
I've been working, I've been reading, I've been writing articles, I've been doing a lot of research, but now I want to do something more concrete, and I want to highlight this amazing work that people in Caravelí, people like my family, has been doing a lot to resist the market pressure, because it's not easy. In 2016, we produced an amazing Mosto Verde Moscatel, which is this, and it was really good, but maybe few people appreciate it. So then everyone was trying to convince my mom to sell this special Mosto Verde to a cheaper price. And I told her, no, I prefer that you could keep it, and one day give me the opportunity to find a good this rebranding is to transmit through Vite de Altura, this new bottle, Mosto Verde Moscatel.
Yeah. So those
So
are
we were keeping 4 years this Pisco.
that's amazing. No, I definitely think I think that's what makes you stand out from all of these other brands that don't really tell the story of how Pisco is made. So how many varieties of Piscos do you produce?
Yes, we have two varieties of grapes, two varieties that you know, and it's one of them is Negra Criolla from Caravelí. I always say from Caravelí because it's
It's
different because of
yeah,
this altitude, because of these volcanic soils. It's completely different from the other Negra Criollas. And then Moscatel from Caravelí. And I don't want to spoil this, but for example, we've been working, my brother and friends, they've been working on the genetic aspect, and they've been doing a lot of research. So they found a lot of different grapes, indigenous grapes, that we want to work more. Maybe
oh
in the
wow,
future we will surprise you more,
yeah,
and especially for white wine.
okay,
So
that's amazing.
again, yes, we want to transmit more our territory.
Yeah. And so kind of talking about where the brand's going in the future, and you're working a little bit on how to transmit the history and the story. What are your plans? Maybe I know it's been a very difficult. You were supposed to be here. You just told me about
Yeah.
for the harvest season in Peru, but it's not possible. But what are the future plans? Like, are you on the market in Peru? Are you in the market in abroad?
Yeah, we are doing a lot of the research trying to understand how to differentiate our Pisco from 700 type brands of Pisco
Yeah.
in Peru.
Yeah.
And then basically we would like to relaunch our Pisco in Lima, because we were in Lima, but then we've decided not to continue after we clarify everything. So we would like to launch in October of this year with these new bottles and labels, our two new I don't want to say two new presentations. This is the word.
Yeah.
This is like a classic bottle that we have, that we want to present one bottle that is gonna be called El Imposible, name it like this because of my grandfather. So El Imposible is gonna make it's gonna be a Pisco for the Pisco for the consumers who really appreciate the ecological values. So this is made for these people, and then the Pisco Vite de Altura is going to be in very small bottle. It's going to be for the conocedores, for the people who knows. Yeah, the people who knows, who appreciate more. They see maybe the people who really know that Moscatel from Caravelí, Mosto Verde, it's something special. So we will launch this in October, and we would like to do it first of all in Lima, and then I've been working with 3 or 4. We identified him first, 3 or 4 small-scale farmers, producers, Pisco producers in Caravelí, to create an alliance and to make this Caravelí very well known in Europe. So we really want to do something like Mezcal did. So we really want to do something that we can appreciate the work of the farmers, the work of the Pisco producers, with all of these different families.
That's amazing. And then also, I feel like I want to do a tour of Caravelí now, and we could really do that. Is it possible to visit your?
Yes. Thanks to remind me this, because I think that the next step that we also would like to go and to do more is regarding tourism and sustainable tourism. For people who wants to know this hidden treasure in the Andes, for people who really wants to go and visit and see ancient bodegas, wine cellars, and for people who wants to see also the lagar made on this stone carved rock. So we want to do that. So if you want to visit us, of course you can do it. You can just write me a message, a DM on Instagram. And we can organize something. Yeah,
let's do it. I'm excited.
We are also very well connected, because in Peru, or especially in Caravelí, there is the Ruta del Pisco that connects Camaná in Caravelí, also Arequipa, but especially Camaná in Caravelí. So you could see the coast of Camaná and Atico, and also visit Caravelí. It's a great tour.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna tell our readers more about it. We definitely have to promote Caravelí. We have some questions.
And enjoy the weather, because it's a great weather.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So we have a few questions. So we talked a little bit about it, but someone says, I would love to try it. How can we get it? Should we just wait until the October?
Yeah, would it be better because of COVID? Everything has been stuck so much. We even wanted to do delivery, but now it's a bit complicated. We also, I think that we have the e-commerce online, so through the website, but it would be better just to do it in October, I think.
So we talked about this because we say how Pisco Sour, it's been a little bit more of the most well-known drink made with Pisco, and we have a question of what is the best Pisco for Pisco Sour, and then what is the best Pisco for Chilcano, maybe too.
Yeah. It's difficult because it depends on the people who really knows and appreciate this taste.
The taste, yeah.
For example, if you take Negra Criolla, you say is less aromatic. Some people say not aromatic. They classify like non-aromatic and aromatic grapes.
Yeah.
If you taste or I think that it's not aromatic. It's less aromatic. Um, Pure Pisco from Negra Criolla. You can use it in any kind of cocktail if you want.
Yeah.
It's very balanced. It's very, very balanced. And then Muscatel is sweet. In a way, it's kind of sweet, kind of vanilla. So if you would like to taste something special, a special drink with family and friends, I will highly recommend to use Muscatel.
Yeah.
And what else? I think that we have to do more, to use whatever cocktail exists in the world. Instead of using vodka or gin, you just need to put pisco,
So,
because
yeah.
it's super versatile. So maybe people don't know and they think, oh, I have to prepare pisco sour because I have pisco. In reality is you can prepare whatever you want. So I here, because I like a lot to go to visit some bars in Italy, I don't know, in Europe in general, there is this something that is called aperitivo, where you go out after work and they go to a nice bar and they drink different cocktails.
Yeah.
And I always try, like I go to different friends and say, why let's make pisco with let's make this cocktail with pisco, and it works really well. Like we make like Cinderella Boy. It's something that I posted few days ago. Cinderella Boy I also like so much the name, but it was made with tequila and pisco and cocoa tea. So it's something that you can mix it with different things. And we did it with moscatel because it's a bit sweet and it's smooth. So I think that we also have to promote more pisco, that you can use it in everything.
Yeah.
That's from my personal experience. For example, I come from Caravelí, and of course we use pisco. We drink pisco since you have 7 years old. My mother used to prepare pisco desserts, cakes.
Yeah. My mom too. Yeah.
Yes, if you want to cook an amazing meat, you have to marinate with pisco. Pisco and
Right.
all of these amazing things that you put the spices. So
Right.
pisco for us, you can use it in everything. So even
Yeah.
when we were sick and I
That's
was cold, yeah, my mother used to give me a special jarabe, a special,
syrup. Yeah.
yeah, with herbs and magical herbs, because my mother works with these herbs. She's a specialist. So you can do with everything with pisco. I
Yeah.
don't want to compare with other distillated, but pisco is very pure naturalness. The naturalness of pisco needs to be known to everyone.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's true. There's, especially in the market, I lived in New York, and there's a lot of promotion of Pisco, and it's like you have to learn how to make a chilcano or a Pisco sour with Pisco, but really a bartender who knows, who learns about what Pisco is, can make anything, and it really should be used in so many creative ways.
Yeah,
Um, and speaking of that, so in the U.S. and international market, that's also for October, or is that further on?
further on, I think we really would like to test the how the people react, how the consumers answer to our proposal.
Yeah,
And we have also an amazing marketing brand that we want to do in 2021 in Europe. And see, I got a lot of interest from different importers, but you know, we have to position a pisco, because people think that we can compare with Chilean pisco, which is completely different, and they also have a massive production. and they have cheaper prices, and we cannot compare the same production that we are doing to this other production. So this is also the challenge that we have to face, and we'll see. It would be great. It would be, I think that it would be my dream to bring an opportunity for my community where I belong, for Caravelí, for different Pisco producers, the opportunity to bring the Pisco, Caravelí Pisco, to the world. I think
Yeah.
this is, I would love to do that, and I don't know, maybe I would quit my job and I just will try to do more and more for Pisco.
We'll help you. I think this is awesome because, I mean, we know about Pisco made south of Lima, but it's amazing that it's grown and produced in other parts of Peru and in Arequipa. Like that's amazing. Um, so another question was, what's the difference between the Pisco made a little further south and north? And it has to do with the altitude and the different kind of lands, right? That's what
Yeah.
makes the Pisco taste different.
Yeah. Um, there is a special process that you could see here. I don't know why, and I don't want to criticize people or other brands, but if you see the labels of many brands, they always say like we are artisanal Pisco. It's like everyone can call it
Yeah.
themselves artisanal, but I don't know if the people, the consumer knows what does artisanal mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm telling you about our process, maybe you can tell me if you think that this is artisanal or not. And I will tell you to everyone, so I hope that people will appreciate it more. First of all, if we start, for example, in March, April, where we collect the grapes, the harvesting time, the harvesting period, it took for us, it took almost 3 to 4 days to keep by hand, to harvesting by hand every
Right.
grape, just to try to make sure that these grapes will arrive without leaf and without steam, without things that can make the most bitter. So this is a
Yeah.
special work, and no one is like you have to train the people to do that.
Yeah.
And so my family has been doing this for years. So they go and they cut. But this is also important for us, for our culture. And this is also important for the social aspect, because we are giving work to the people and we are keeping a tradition alive. Again, we
Right.
are resisting this market pressure. So it takes at most 3 days to do that under the sun. When I say that we are higher altitude, it's great. But okay, let's work under the sun at this
Yeah.
altitude. Also in
Yeah.
Italy, super hot. Of course, this is like it's a hard work. I did this year. I love it because it's been a while that I was not able to do that. I was always traveling, moving. And then after that, first you have 3 days to do that. And then you put all of these grapes into the wine press, El Imposible. And then a group of people, especially 8 men, or sometimes women also, they wake up at 4 a.m. and they started pressing the grapes by foot for almost 8 hours. So this is like a great job. This is only for one grape. You have to do that for Moscatel and you have to do that for Negra Criolla. So I would love if some people would like to come and visit my land and do this
Yeah.
experience, because
Help.
would it be great also for us? We need help. And
Right.
it's a party. It's a party in a way that we know when I was there, I can feel that my generation is there, and there are many generations were before doing the same practice. So we're keeping this practice, and it's really hard because I know and I saw that. And then you have to transport all of this must into this bodega with all of these ancient jars, and to put the most And I was counting, because you have to count how many liters did you get from every time you put it there. And then you wait 12 to 15 days with natural fermentation, thanks to this ancient jars. Because if you go to Merit Commercial Pisco, to activate the fermentation, they put some chemical inputs. Why we don't do that? Because we are still using the ancient yeast and wild yeast to make the fermentation work. So,
Yeah.
and then there is a special phase that maybe we only do in Caravelí. We call it traslapeo. And I love it because makes me feel again that I'm doing something that comes from maybe 1,400 years ago. And the special name that they also know, so they know how to do that in order that the must will be super aromatic and ready for the distillation process. And again, the distillation process is another thing, because you have to do that grape by grape, and you have to wake up at 4 a.m. every day from 4 a.m. to midday to 2 p.m., 3 days. So this is only the phase that maybe people could go and visit, or maybe for distillation, I don't think so. But then, of course, you have to do the stream by hand. You have to maintain the land. You have to try to avoid using pesticides and herbicides. You have to control, to do a lot of manual control. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just for passion. It's a matter of passion. It's a matter of love. It's for me, I saw my grandma following the moon to do any practice, and I love it. So that's why I fall in love with nature, and that's why I decided to study biology, to learn more and more. They transmit all of this experience to me. So
that's amazing.
Now, that's why for you, I don't know if for you think that this is artisanal, because I can prove that this is what we do.
Okay. You can actually prove it because you know the process. Yeah, that's a beautiful story that has to be told. I think the word artisanal is overused, and really people don't understand the hard work, the dedication, and it's nonstop. It's like that Pisco bottle doesn't appear out of nowhere. Like, it's year-round work. So
Exactly. And I think that this is something that we as a Peruvians, we have to think about and appreciate what our people has been doing. I think that this was the key that mezcal did, and that's why mezcal has changed so much the way that communicated, and also now we can recognize more the producers.
oh, that's
They
true.
are in the bottom of all this chain. So now I'm lucky, or maybe that's my mission. I believe that this is my mission, because I'm in Europe. I came from this remote area, remote village in Peru. So I have to do something.
Yeah, no, you have to promote it around the world. I think every Peruvian agrees that Pisco needs to be everywhere. And just the fact that there's so much variety, that it's used and it's produced everywhere around Peru, not everywhere, but in many places, I think that's beautiful that you can find so many different areas that produce Pisco.
Yeah.
One last question is, so many people from Europe think that Pisco tastes like grappa. What do you think?
Yes. This is there are many distillated in the world, and every time if you go to France to Cognac, they will think that maybe we produce pisco, like they produce Cognac or they produce brandy, and in reality, yes, we have to put the difference and try to transmit and exchange ideas. So some people, when I started doing a lot of presentations in Europe, in Italy, they were asking me, what is the difference between Pisco and Grappa? It looks like the same. It's transparent, alcohol. What is the difference? And I'm trying to explain to them that Pisco comes from distillation, one distillation, no water, no aged, and made by the distillation of a special must that comes from a special grape from my region. So, and they do grappa because first they take the skins of all of these grapes, and from the skin they prepare grappa. I think that we are more close to
Right.
brandy than grappa. But it's also always it's amazing when you discuss and and you discuss with people that they are also passionate on their own culture, so you learn a lot. Yeah, last year I was in amazing conference like Le Donna del Vino, which is like the women of wine, something like this. And I met a group of people from France, Spirits Valley,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a lot of inspiration from them because of French people. They think collective, and they think we are French ballet, we are the spirits ballet. So let's try to promote cognac. So let's try to promote France, and we don't care if you are the brand this or the brand that. All of these brands works together. So let's try to just think about like a cluster. We are a cluster, and
Right.
I like that.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, Merelyn, thank you so much. I feel like we've learned a lot about the a very eco-friendly way to make pisco, and very inspired by your story too. I think it's very inspiring that it's a women-led initiative. It's so many generations, bringing their knowledge and their culture, like, and keeping it, and not giving in to the market, as you say. So we're very inspired, and we really are excited to see the new brand image and seeing your story
Yeah.
to life in October and in the future. So thank you so much.
Thanks to you. And let's keep in touch. And thank you so much. If you want to come to visit our land in March next year, if everything goes well, so
Yeah,
you are
let's do it. No, yeah,
welcome.
we're definitely going to share more info about how to get in contact with you and how to get to Caravelí. So let's do that.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Susan.
Okay,
Thanks so
bye.
much for this invitation, and thanks so much to share these stories from Pisco and Caravelí. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Pisco 1901.
yeah. Salud. Thanks.
Salud. Cheers. Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye. Ciao.